Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Pool of Radiance for the NES, the 2023 edition. So in the previous video, the first part, I was showing you around New Flan, and now I think it's time to start our first quest. This is an entrance to the slums. The guards are watching you. Oh no. You enter the monster-infested slums of Flan. Large insects and rats run beneath your feet. You can hear an alarm in the distance. Now something interesting here is you can actually press any of the D-pad buttons to make the text go to the next page or whatever. It's kind of weird. So I don't have a pointer for you, but this room here that I have the arrow pointing at, we're going to go into that room and go into the one on the left, you know, on to its left, to start the first battle. Now, of course, in this area there are random encounters, which means every time you take a step you risk running into monsters. I will not be covering those because, again, this is a walkthrough. And okay, you're surprised by some kobolds. Well, that's not a good sign. Okay, so that means they get the first attack, I guess, too, since they surprise you. Sometimes you can surprise other enemies, but whatever. Okay, so back to school. Now, let's try this again. You see some dirty goblins. Let's wait. The monsters run away. Yeah, usually if you're not surprised by the enemy, you can get them to run away if you select wait or whatever. Now, of course, you could parley with the enemies. Sometimes they'll just say, well, if we don't see you in here again, that's fine, but you better get out of here. Other times they'll demand money, and other times they'll run away. So it's, you know, you never know what's going to happen. But if you're surprised by them, then it doesn't matter. The battle's going to start. So we're going to go in here, and orcs are arguing over some papers. Now, if you advance, that means when you do combat, they'll be right next to you. So, but maybe we can reason with them. Let's try parley. Well, nope. I guess that didn't do anything. So orcs are one of the toughest enemies in the beginning of this game. And it's not because like they do a ton of damage or anything. It's because they have a low armor class, 1. So, but there's a little glitch here I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to walk up to this enemy, I'm going to walk away, which is going to cause them to take a swing at me. But you'll notice they miss. So I'll attack again. Oh, weird. Okay, it's usually a glitch in this game where it's a hit, basically. Now I actually want to... Give me a second here, because I want to consult my, my walkthrough, or my... Not my walkthrough, but my translation of the manual. Because, I forgot to do this before I started recording. Okay. Does it say here? Alright. There we go. Okay. So the manual says, this is the other thing I didn't mention in the last part, but as far as I know is not known in the West, is the auto combat. I want to try that, actually. This will cause the computer player or the computer to take over for your character. Now, it was thought for a long time that once you put a character in auto, you cannot do this in the, or you can't take him out of auto combat until after the battle's over and you go into the in-game options, the environment menu, like I showed you guys at the beginning of the game. And in fact, I believe the US manual says this too, like you cannot take them out of auto combat until after a battle's over. However, the Japanese manual says the following, at least translated, and I quote, Auto. This command switches the character's actions to the computer-controlled auto mode. To cancel, press B. So yeah, however, it doesn't quite tell you when you can press B, but you have to wait until the character's next turn to do it. Now, of course, I don't have any long-range weapons, so this battle might take a while. So yeah, orcs are really hard to hit because of their low armor class, so this battle might take a while just because of that. Fortunately, the orcs don't do a ton of damage, but they can do a little bit of damage, you know. After you get your characters to like level 2 or whatever, it's actually pretty easy to kill them. especially when you have spells memorized, which I did not do. I could have cast a sleep spell and had this battle over it within minutes, and I didn't know it was going to be his turn, so I forgot to press B. So you do have to be on the ball about that. I don't believe you can take a character out of auto combat in the computer versions, but I could be wrong. And I pressed B there too, but I think I was too late. So they got my cleric for 6 points. That's not good. Oh, there we go. Orc is dying, which doesn't really matter if you're an opponent. It only matters if it's one of your party members who are dying. That means you have to sacrifice a turn to bandage them, but we'll get to that later when it happens. So let's see, we got some items here. We got a scroll. Now, this is something that you could get identified at the Arms and Armor shop in New Flan. So here, we can start resting. So before we do that, I'm gonna memorize. That's weird. Why can't I memorize spells? Or did I click cast? Oh, okay. I must have clicked a different option or something. Okay. So notice how the clock goes by, it goes by pretty quick, but we're gonna go to turn the quick mode on, because you've already seen that cutscene. So I'm gonna speed up the emulator here, so resting is a little less tedious for us. Okay. So the room to the left of here we're gonna want to go to. So something of note though, and this is why the lodges are pretty much useless. Any battles you clear out, or any rooms with a set battle, so to speak, so not random encounters, but set battles, if you clear those, you can actually rest in them uninterrupted. Usually if you try to rest in an area like here, where there's random encounters, you'll get a random encounter when you try to sleep. But in this game, at least this version of the game, you don't have to worry about that. So, a large goblin is teaching young goblins how to fight. He smiles when he sees you and says, "Good, training partners." We'll try to advance, but nope, that does not work. Alright, so because sleep is a level 1 spell, I should be able to cast it. Now, you'll notice that the goblin leader is the one that's a different color than the rest, and they have long-ranged weapons. I don't believe, so that's a goblin guard, AC 3, health points 4, and this one's got 7 and an AC of 2. I don't know what weapons they have. I guess they have darts or maybe short bows or something. But I'm going to cast a sleep spell on them. And that's going to cause them to fall asleep, which will make them, well, as you could probably guess, immobile. Hence the H. Now let's see if my character can cast the spell on the leader. Now these guys aren't as tough as orcs, so you should be able, even without any spells or anything, you should be able to take them down pretty easily. But I'm just doing this so it's a lot easier. I forgot to take witting off auto combat. You gotta press the B button when it's about when the cursor's going to them, and of course that is a flaw, because you don't know exactly when the game's gonna go to a certain character's turn, or at least I never figured it out. Maybe, I know whose turn it is, depends on AD&D rules, but I'm not the most familiar with AD&D rules. I only know what I know from this game, so, which might be kind of surprising. I've actually always wanted to play the actual D&D games, but nobody wants to play them. So, around me anyways. So we got leather armor for Johnny, which is a good armor for if you have a thief in your party. Alright, so now we're going to want to go to the room to the left of that, but to do that we're going to have to make a few turns. Okay, we're not dealing with that. It's actually kind of weird that it seems that there's a lot more random encounters. Sometimes it seems that if you walk really slowly, you're less likely to get any random encounters. I don't know if someone could reverse engineer the code to confirm that or not. Anyways, so we're going to turn the search mode on. I believe I mentioned this in the last video, but this will make the time go by 10 minutes every step you take. It also increases the likelihood of enemy encounters, or random encounters. So you should only use this if like it's all clear in an area, or you know, if those enemies, set enemies, are pretty easy to deal with, then it's fine. But we're gonna go in this room. You find a very dirty room. There's evidence of a large untidy animal. You find a large leather bag. Do you open it? Well, what did the Big Lebowski say? Or what they say in the Big Lebowski is the Pope crap in the woods? Of course, we get 950 experience points, 100 gold pieces, and 2 gems. So, okay, we got our first gems, great. And look at that, we got a short bow. And this is a magical one, so that means we can use it against undead and other enemies, and it'll be more powerful. Now, before we go to this battle, let's turn off the search mode, and let's turn off the auto combat. And I actually should have memorized my spells, which I did not do, so don't do what I did and be stupid. But we're going to go up here, because Goldleaf still needs a bow. And now in the first person view, this is just a wall. Let's try to go through it. Ah, there we go. You were surprised to find a secret treasure room. So we get 2,700 experience, or 2,700, however you put it. 350 gold pieces and 8 gems. And of course we get a short bow. So it's important that I equip these, which also means I'm going to have to unarm myself with a shield, which in turn makes my character more vulnerable. But it's worth it. Save there. Let's rest. Or memorize your spells and rest. You can also rest until morning, but this option isn't good unless you're trying to get to shop a new flan, or you want to go to the city hall or whatever, so I'm not going to worry about it here. There's also a battle down here, but we'll get to that. I believe there's hobgoblins in that room. They're a little more difficult than orcs, at least in my opinion. But anyways, here, this will be an easy battle because we'll fight the easiest enemies in the game, kobolds. Kobolds are dining here. One turns and says, "Who are you? Go away." I don't think we're going to go away. Once again, I try to advance, but that doesn't seem to do me any good. So let's see if I can get the glitch to happen. Have him miss. And the second attack should be a hit. It's a weird glitch in this game, and it happens like 90% of like matches that you do. So the Kobold leader has 4 hit points and an AC of 4. I don't know what the point of the status is, because once you're dead, or once the characters are dead, I don't think you can click on them anymore. Maybe I should try that though. So Kobold leader is dying. Let me see. Does it work? I doubt that it does. Nope, it doesn't. So I don't know what the point of the status is. Probably should have used that to display the item, but let's just be glad that the feature exists in the first place. Even if it took someone like 20 plus years after the game's release. Or no, 30 years I should say, to find it. Now, I might fast forward through some of the later parts of the game, or some of the later battles, just because they can take a long time. And that way I can cover more in one video. That way you guys don't have to watch like 50 parts. Then again, maybe that's what some people want. I do intend to cover the optional quests as well, so if you're wondering about that, then yeah, that will be a thing. In fact, what I'm going to do in this playthrough, at least if I can remember to, is I am eventually going to attack the city guard and show you guys how to deal with that. There's some interesting things that happen once you do that. I think I've already mentioned that you do alienate the city, but there's also another battle you can do that you otherwise couldn't do. So it's pretty interesting. I do believe if you complete a mission for the city council after you alienate them, that they will welcome you with open arms again. Oh, now if you saw there, that means slain, or slain, that means I actually did kill the enemy. They're not in a dying state, they're in an actual dead state, which I do believe nets you more experience points, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe someone could fact check that for me. And 1 point of damage, that's not good. And as you could probably guess too, the Kobold leader had darts or, you know, long-range weapons, so that's why I attacked him first. And as you saw there, the Kobold surrenders, and weaker enemies tend to do that the stronger you get in the game, so that's something you want to look out for. So, okay, 1,262 experience and 6 gold pieces. And let's see what we got. Ooh, bracers. These are good because these lower your armor class. I will give those to my fighter. Now again, I can get those bracers identified at the shop for 250 gold pieces and see exactly what kind of bracers those are. But right now I can't quite afford that. So let's see. AC of 0. Alright, doesn't seem to do anything. But I'll put them on just in case. Sometimes it doesn't have an effect on some characters and then it has an effect on others, so... Alright, next battle we're going to do with more orcs, and I should have rested there. But I'm going to try doing it here and see if that, if I have any luck. Oh wait, no, that's right. I didn't use any spells in the last battle, so I'm good. So, this is the battle, but let's go in here and see what's inside here. There is an old gypsy woman wearing a ragged cloth who says, "Welcome, I'll read your fortune for 1 gold piece." I'm not going to try doing the voices because I'm just not very good at them, so let's see what happens here. Have her read fortune. The gypsy begins to make strange gestures. Her voice changes into a deep-throated rasp. I could see ropes, a labyrinth, and monsters. Monsters are in both places. You can't defeat them. And this is interesting. What it's about to tell you here is unique to the NES version, because the computer versions just tell you the fortune telling is over, so what do you want to do? She falls over the table exhausted and waves you away. Now there was something I discovered years after playing this game, is that she actually has different fortunes to tell depending on how far you get in the game. So let's attack her and see what we get from that. The old woman expires without resistance. You find a small amount of money, but you feel that you have made a grave error. Or as in the computer versions, the gods have noted your actions or something like that. Now, as far as I knew for many years, I didn't think this had any effect on the game. But according to the clue book for the computer versions, this killing the gypsy ends up making the random encounters more frequent, which does seem to be effective in the NES version. But it also says that the battles are a lot tougher. As you can see, yeah, there's some enemies here. But it doesn't seem to affect the battles. I mean, only 3 kobolds, really. Also, I believe the amount of enemies and random encounters depends on how many people are in your party. So, like, the less people are in your party, the less enemies there'll be, and so on and so forth. We're gonna leave. She can have our money. That's fine. You leave. Okay. So we're gonna go in here. A big orc shouts at you. "This is our house. Go away." I don't think I could do that, but why don't we talk? Maybe we could talk about it. Nope. Okay, I guess we're going into battle again. And this is a great time to cast spells, because look, they're all clumped together like that. Let's see if I can get the glitch to happen again. Alright, orc goes down. That means I hit them for the amount of points that they're worth. So, see if I can get it to happen again. There we go. It happened twice in a row. I'm going to cast Sleep, as long as I can remember to do it later. Some people might think this is a little lazy, you know, just casting the Sleep spell, but I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. It's not cheating or anything. And that is the strategy I provide. That's not something I've been really doing in these videos that I've been, well, the past video anyway, in this video, that I've meant to do is give you strategies on how to beat them. And really, that's what I do. I mean, that's what I put in my walkthroughs too. You know, use your sleep spells to dispatch them. Of course, you could try your own ways too, but if you want to just get through the battle, I assume that's what you want when you're reading the walkthroughs, like you're just trying to beat the game. So, let's see what we got from that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. We got some pretty neato items here. I believe these are longsword +1s. So that means I will give one to my fighters. Give the flail to my cleric. And I think the fighter's going to need the chainmail more than anything else. So, again, let's rest, memorize spells, and let's speed it up though, because that way we can cover more ground. I'm trying to limit these segments to like 30 minutes. And we're gonna equip. So we could sell the old items we don't need. So there'll be that. Actually, I don't know. Oh, okay, I don't need to equip those. That's fine. Oh, the chainmail though. The chainmail. How can I not do the chainmail? So okay. Oh wait, what is? Okay, so you had 0 before. Let's see what the chainmail does. Okay, 0. Well, that's fine. Okay. So the next battle we want to do is down here. It seems that this place was some kind of shop long ago. Now it's a monster meeting place. Before they see you, you hide in the shadows. You overhear a part of their conversation. The shrine across the river is held by elite orcs. Or I believe they're called hotshot orcs in the computer versions, but don't quote me on that. Actually, quote me on that. I want to find out. We go in here, and the monster guards attack you. Uh-oh. And we get our first actual formidable enemy in this game. An ogre. No, doesn't appear to be the same kind that Shrek is, but interesting nonetheless. So this is definitely a time where you want to cast a sleep spell. That way, these guys can't attack you. You want to go after the orc first. He does quite a bit of damage, at least for characters they're starting out that don't have a lot of HP like my party. You definitely want to take him out first. But of course, my cleric can't get to him, and in that case, I'm going to attack the goblins. And as you see, 9 points of damage. So yeah, they're pretty formidable. Did I give my thief the armor? I don't remember. I don't know which sword is the one that I just got from battle, so I guess I think it's the one on the top, though. I just realized I think it goes from bottom to top. So the ogre, I believe, has 14 points, and actually, I can find out by... So we got AC of 5, which is pretty good. He's got 21 points, okay. I think that's because he's the monster guard. But yeah, basically, you want to take care of this guy first. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you might ask, why didn't you cast the sleep spell on the ogre? And the reason is because I don't believe it works on the ogre, or at least it doesn't usually work on him, so you're better off just trying to hit him with brute force. And there we go. Now, it is possible some of these battles will end in failure. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist at this game, so there are a few that I screw up on. But that's okay. I mean, it's not like you can't try again. Oh, and they surrender. As long as they don't run away, then I believe you do get the experience points. Again, someone fact check that for me, though. Because I'm only going off experience of this game. Now look at that, 6,043 experience. Ooh. 11 gold pieces and 23 gems. So, turn the search mode on, because we're about to find some more treasure. This room is completely empty. There is nothing anywhere. You would think a politician wrote this, because let's see what it says after that. One of the floorboards is loose. When you pry it up, you find a treasure box. Do you open it? Now, I believe if you say no, you can go back to it. Let's see. Oh, I didn't know you could do it in any part of the room. That's interesting. Alright, 1,000... Well, you guys can see the rewards. I don't have to read it out for you. We got a shield and a scroll, which I'll probably end up selling. I don't typically use the scrolls in this game. Make sure you turn that off. We're going to rest. And I believe you can sleep in here uninterrupted, which appears to be the case. Alright, so now we're going to start getting into a little more formidable fights. So let's be prepared. Another thing I forgot to mention that's really cool in the Japanese version, and I believe I added this to the Q&A section of my guide, is that the Japanese manual actually has a Q&A section. And it answers a lot of stuff that even I didn't think about. So I added all those to my guide, I believe. On GameFAQs, you should be able to see those, and if not, I will add those. I'll have to check. A monster stands in the way. Are you sure it's just a monster? Because I have a feeling that... Yeah, see, look at that. Yeah, this game likes lying to you a lot like that. How much... Okay. Oh, I did not mean to do that. I accidentally pressed B. Gwydion got hurt. Okay. He got wrecked. Okay. Let's see if we can hit that, Nope. Missed the ogre. I don't know how you missed such a giant enemy like that, but we did. I guess because we're noobs, so... Let's see if I can cast a sleep spell. I don't think I'm going to be able to reach the leaders, but... Nah, just barely. Ooh, we got the ogre. Okay, well, I stand corrected. But that usually sacrifices the other enemies that you can hit, but that's fine. So for example, as you can see, I got the ogre, but I didn't get all the orcs. Another fun fact, if you can call it that, is the drum channel in this song actually desynchronizes from the rest of the audio. So the drum, which means the drums are actually different every time you hear the song loop, which at least adds some kind of variation. I'm pretty sure that was due to a bug in this game, or like by the composer not adding like an 8th note or whatever, but that's pretty cool. And actually, let's talk about the music in this game. I do have the sound turned down a little bit, just so you can hear me better, but the game's music was composed by Seiji Toda, who also did the music for, well, he did the music for Heroes of the Lance, the computer versions that were done in Japan, which was then brought over to the NES version. Although he didn't work on that version personally, that was Iku Mizutani who arranged his music. But you might know Toda's work in the game Ultima Quest of the Avatar for the NES, which I believe was the only other NES game that he worked on. So, a little fun fact there. Now, I was told by Seiji that he wrote the music in Music Macro language, which is basically how a lot of video game music was done back then, because they didn't have like MIDI or whatever. So that would usually involve typing in a set of numbers, or hexadecimal numbers, into a text editor usually, or a monitor. Or it could also be written out in notation form, like, you know, C4Q would be C, 4th octave, quarter note. So a little bit of trivia there for you. The game's sound engine was programmed by the late Hironari Tadakoro, and I got to speak with him a couple times. He was pretty cool. I was asking him about the game Dr. Chaos, which is also by Marionette, who made this game. And, you know, because that game credits the sound to Pony Ichinen, or 1 Year Pony, which is kind of interesting, but remember, Pony Canyon worked on both games. And from what he told me, he said it was a group of composers, including himself, but he said due to contractual reasons, he respectfully asked that I not inquire any further about it, and so I did. I am not doing too good here. Now, as you can see, Johnny is in a hurt state, which means I'm going to bandage him to prevent him from actually dying. And I don't... Yeah. Okay, Cold Leaf has your sleep spell. Okay, so it's time to get out the big guns. I'm only moving next to the enemy so I can use the spell. And it should work. Alright, so let's take care of the leaders first. Of course, after a certain amount of turns, they will unfreeze, so you want to make sure that doesn't happen. Oops. Don't want the short bow, I want the shield and the long sword, please. That would be great if I could use those. And Felger is dying. Oh, okay, this is not going well. I know I said I know I said this battle's a little challenging. I didn't think it was this bad though. Your teammate is dying. Oh, they're running away. But I believe there's a wall at the end, which means they can't. Also notice that the combat field is based on the area you are in the game. So remember, I was in a very narrow corridor. Well, that's where I am in this map too. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they could take us down, but the game is having them run away instead. So hey, I'll take it. Now, of course, if you have a longbow, the range is higher. And unfortunately, that orc got away, and that orc got away, which means we do not get the experience from them. But that also means we don't. That also means we don't have to deal with them. So I guess, you know, you can take it either way. Give the dagger to the thief. Now this segment's, I know the segment's going over 32 minutes, or 30 minutes. I'm actually gonna keep going because there's one more battle I want to do here before we take care of the final battles in the rest of the game. So let's memorize the spells. Hopefully I can get this over with pretty quickly. Hopefully 40 minutes is a tolerable length. I'm surprised how many comments I've already gotten on my first video. I checked and it's like, I think even while I was recording this one, I got like a comment like, hey, can't wait to see more of them. It's like, and I'm glad you guys like them. I really am. The monster leaders have gathered. So that is a Hobgoblin, by the way, if you're wondering what they look like. Oh yeah, I didn't do that battle, did I? Oh well. There's I think I mentioned a battle where in the corner where I got the secret treasure. These enemies are a little tougher because they're the leaders. So over leader 32 points instead of 21, and 7 instead of, well, I don't remember. We got the Null. Null, despite them being really tall enemies, they're actually really easy to kill, so I'm not worried about them. And then we got the Hobgoblin leader, 6 hit points and the AC of 1, which means he's going to be a little difficult to hit. So, of course, you're going to want to go after the Ogre. And of course, I got hit. And I believe... I don't know if the sleep spell works. I guess we can give it a whirl here. Sometimes you actually have to hit them with the cursor. Oh, this isn't good. I'm going to have to put my player to sleep. I might need to do a second take at this. Yeah, that didn't go too well. Yep, and of course he attacks Felger. And even though he hits them for the amount of points that they're worth or whatever, they will be in a dying state because they were in a sleep. They were in a paralyzed state, or whatever you want to call it. I believe I was attacked, which means I don't get to cast spells this turn, which is stupid, but I don't make the rules. Your teammate is dying. Yeah, I kind of figured that. Alright, I'm going to try this again. Let's see if I can... Oh, that did not do a thing, so let's bandage. I don't think I'm going to be doing this battle. I don't think I'm going to be very successful with it, but... Ooh, he missed. Well, maybe I got a shot. Yeah, because I always used to have to calculate in my head how much points an enemy would have after I hit them, and after I hit several other enemies, so, wow, that ogre leader actually is having a hard time hitting me. Then again, I do have a pretty low armor class, 0. I have a lower armor class than the ogre, I believe. So the hobgoblins, like the orcs, are only hard to kill because they have a low armor class. Oh, and he he attacks and then he surrenders. That's funny. Okay. Let's see what we get out of this. Oh, okay, nothing. Good to know. Let's memorize our spells, and I got one more fight I want to do, and then I promise that'll be the end of the video, okay? But then maybe that's what people want. Maybe you want long segments. I don't know. I guess you can let me know that in the comments. Like, what are you okay with? You know, you okay with 30-minute segments, 40 minutes, an hour? I mean, let me know, because I don't mind catering to you guys. Of course, I can't please everybody. If I get varying answers, I'll try to find a medium or whatever. But this battle, Hobgoblins are fighting over shares of gold coins. One of them sees you and shouts, "Thieves!" It's because I'm white, isn't it? So we got Hobgoblins, and I've already went through them, but these are normal Hobgoblins, 6 HP and an AC of 0. So yeah, let's see if I can get the little glitchy thing to happen again. Where the first attack is a miss, and the second attack is a hit. You know, I have a feeling they did that originally for like debugging purposes, like testing out the game engine and everything, but they just forgot to remove that from the game code or whatever. But that's only speculation, I can't back that up or anything, so... Yeah, they made quick work of the thief, but Johnny's a wimp, so... What did I really expect? And I don't believe I'm within range to cast a spell, so I'll just fire some arrows at him. Yeah, my movement sucks in this game. And near the end of the game, the cool thing is we're gonna get a spell that pretty much does the complete opposite. That'll make combat a breeze, pretty much. And honestly, it makes it a lot more fun to play, in my opinion, anyway. And it feels like a cheat code. This certain spell I'm talking about feels like a cheat code, but it's just a spell that you can cast. And it's one that you pretty much earn, too, because you get at a certain level, and that's after, like, a lot of battles, so... So I think I could just skate by without my thief dying. Okay, good. He's unconscious. Hey, look at that! You find a lot of treasure! Woo! We got a potion and a two-handed sword. Oh, but my fighter does not have any more space, alas. It's probably just a healing potion, but whatever. Alright, so I'm going to rest. Now, before I end this video, I think it's important that for these last two fights, you should try selling your gems and try training your characters at the training hall. So, if you do have to deal with any random encounters at this point, it should be pretty easy as long as you've rested. And of course, there's a lot of spaces now where you can go in and rest uninterrupted. So, when the next video starts, I'm going to train. My characters will be trained. That was because that's going to be a tedious process. Because I always try to get them more HP over everything else, and you have to keep going, resetting the game and going back in to do it. So it's a pretty arduous process. So I'm not gonna show that part of it, especially because there's no real strategy. You need just a lot of luck in that part. So when we come back to the next part, I will have upgraded characters, or I should, and I'm actually gonna sell all my gems at the store too, because as far as I know, they serve no other purpose than to be sold for money. Again, someone fact check me on that. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you guys love these videos, and I'm going to try to do more of them. So, thanks for watching. God bless, and peace out. Have a good day.